parents moved out to the woods when I was 5, and we moved to this property when I was 7 and lived off the grid. It's a 15-acre patch of land in the National Forest. My parents decided to design and build their own house and make it passive solar. So it's all south facing. In the summer, the sun doesn't even come all the way in. It just comes in a little bit in the mornings, and then it goes over and stays out. So the concrete floor stays cool in the winter times. The sun comes all the way in to the back staircase, heats up the concrete floor. We have our wood burning stove. I'm always really impressed by how well it works. We got all our water from the local spring and just had an outdoor shower. We would bathe in the river that whole summer. We only bathed in the river. We didn't have electricity, we just had an outhouse. Now we are on the grid, but we have water all from our own spring. I think a really big part of it was just living out in the middle of the forest and not really needing the government for things.
Not something I would trust, but it's nice.
My brother started foraging our herbal remedies probably when he was 13 or 14. He'd gather all of the herbs from the area. We put them into like vodka or oils. So he created the salve business with healing salves, so like comfrey and mullein and calendula. So we gather black walnuts and then we put them in vodka. That becomes a tincture. It takes all of the medicinal values into alcohol. We also ingest it, and that kills any worms or any bad bacteria. And that's been our main antibiotic. Just kind of researching what the Native Americans would have used to heal and gathering those plants and using them. Sometimes we'll order herbs from companies. That's been all of my medicine growing up. I haven't ever really gone to the doctor, or any of us. Just jars and jars of like herbs. We've never needed to use Medicare or anything. Medicaid. I don't know what it's called. Yeah, these are long-lasting shoes. They're really nice. In terms of like mindful consumption, we have a pretty small house, so we can't buy that much. My mom's a minimalist, so if we want to buy stuff, we have to give stuff away. So for every Christmas, we choose 2 people to give to, and we have to make one gift, and we can buy one gift. We recycle a lot. We try not to use a lot of plastics. Definitely not buying bottled water. I don't think people do that anyway. Not give into the consumerist culture and not buy products or cheap plasticky things. Just They're like, okay, I don't need that. I'll save the money for travel. I travel. I save all my pennies and then I'll buy a plane ticket. And blow it off. We compost everything and put it back into our garden, where we grow a lot of herbs and spices and berries. We have some apple trees, a peach tree, blackberries, raspberries, strawberries.
This is our garden. We have blackberries and black raspberries and blueberries. We usually have strawberries and our herbs and our apple trees. We sometimes get apples. We have a peach tree. We get peaches too, if the birds don't eat them.
We usually buy in bulk, sometimes from Whole Foods, so a bunch of grains, or like a 50-pound bag of coconut milk powder. Rice, we buy rice bulk, we buy oats bulk. Wheat berries, we buy wheat berries, and then we have a grinder, so we grind our own flour for all of the flour we need. If we're baking bread or muffins or pancakes, we have fresh ground flour. So that was really normal growing up, and I don't think I realized it. Most people don't grind their own flour. We thrift a lot of clothes, almost all our clothes, and sometimes if we buy nicer clothes, we just buy ones we know will last. We just wear a lot of cotton and linen. Buying durable clothes, not buying cheap clothes, because that's something that really gets worn through fast, especially if you're living a rough lifestyle. Yeah, so I think clothes is a really big thing, not going for fast fashion, because that is really contributing to like getting the clothes from China, wearing through them in a year, and sending them to Goodwill or throwing them away. Polyesters and synthetic, we just wear like linens and cottons. Which I definitely took for granted growing up. I was just like, I kind of used to think it was a privilege, or like, I thought that polyester was like fancy. Like, oh, my mom doesn't let me wear polyester, I don't know why, and now I know.
My mom's like, if you can't entertain yourselves, you're not my child. And yeah, I would say we didn't get like a ton of formal education, but we read so much literature and just learned about the plants.
Success to me means the freedom to live slow. I think that's what it is. If you are able to live a slow lifestyle and really connect to nature and connect to people, that's what we're made to do. We're living out here in the middle of the woods, and we have a lot of really beautiful, amazing people in our lives, that artists and musicians and farmers, potters. That's what our life is built around, as community. I think that's freedom. Now I journal every day. So that keeps me connected to what I'm living for and who I am. I go to Brushy Fork. I go on a walk in the forest almost every day. When I need to be grounded, I just go to the woods. And sometimes if I'm tired or busy or in pain, I'll just sit on the bench and look at the forest.
With natural pigments, they're all made with natural pigments.
That you got from the river?
I ground some from our rocks. That's the goal, is to like olive in this piece is like Sumi ink with a natural ochre color mixed. And then the blue is mixed from a slate, crushed slate from the river. So the goal is to get all my pigments local from crushed rocks, which is why they're much more subtle. And they take a lot of time to make. And oyster shell, so this is oyster shell, the white, and then it's held on with a grit. This is real silver that's been oxidized. So it's non-toxic, it's all natural, and it's local. That's the goal.
I'm really liking the guitar. It's very nice. It's I mean, you sound great. It's a nice vibe too. Thank you. I really try. You succeed. Like genuinely though. Come on, Amy.
Yeah.
Come on. Damn, bro. Come on. Come on. Ah.
I wasted so much energy.
Oh man. That was the craziest barn door I've ever seen. What on earth? Right.
Alright, you can lower me.
Okay. Looks sick. You get bonus style points.
A lot of people just get stuck in their very busy, you know, lots of 9-to-5 jobs, and they have bills to pay, and you know, it's kind of scary to just step out of that cycle when you need to support yourself and you need that job and you need that money. I live pretty cheaply. I don't have a lot of debt, and I just work fun little jobs in the Red River Gorge area, and I do work a lot. You know, I save up money, and I use that money to travel and to climb and to take trips with friends, and sometimes that cycle changes, sometimes it's a different job, and you know, I don't really stick to one place. I'm always kind of bouncing around, but that cycle works for me, and I think it could work for a lot of other people, but it is a scary step to take if you are in that secure feeling cycle yourself. But yeah, a few things that are self-sufficient to the way I live here in this cabin. I don't have any heat, so we use a wood burning stove, so you have to chop wood, lots of wood in the winter, and that always feels good, having to fuel my home with heat myself, and it can be a lot, but it feels pretty rewarding for some reason to me. We do have a little chicken coop, so me and my parents get fresh chicken eggs every day, which is very nice and saves us a lot of money on eggs. So we grow lots of tomatoes and onions and peppers, lots of different vegetables, and that's always a really good feeling too, growing your own food. I don't like buying things that are mass produced. You know, I don't like going to Walmart and buying like t-shirts or clothes or anything there. It feels really good going somewhere thrifting and buying something secondhand and reusing things that are just gonna get thrown away, and I do try to live like that. Yeah, those are just a couple things that we do, or that I do here. I just don't think it's ever really taught to people. You're taught to graduate high school and go to college and get a career and work until you retire. That's what we're taught. So to think of doing something other than that can kind of be a bizarre and scary thought to some people, I'm sure. But there's lots of different ways to live if you just look outside the box, I guess. Definitely, I have thought about moving closer to like the city, and a lot of my family kind of talks about how I should be getting, you know, a more like important adult job, and that's what my sisters are doing. And I don't know, sometimes it feels like, yeah, I'm definitely on a different path than what most people are doing, and so sometimes I get in my head if that is the right or wrong path. But at the end of the day, when I really think about what I want, I know I wouldn't really be happy going down that road. So yeah, sometimes it can be hard battling those thoughts, but yeah, like I said, at the end of the day, I know it's gonna make me the happiest, and I'm just gonna keep doing my thing. Yeah. First of all, I chose not to go to college, which saved a lot of debt for me. And that's sometimes scary, not knowing that I didn't go to college, but I didn't really know what I wanted to do, and why spend all the money when you don't know what you're going to do until you can figure it out. I get inspired a lot when I'm outside and seeing, colors of nature and shapes that nature brings along, like spirals on the rock formations, like iron bands, and it's very, very pretty to just see what nature brings you and to find inspiration in that. I always feel really good about making things with, for myself. I don't really like going out and buying things that everybody else is buying, whether that be like shelves or clothes and art. It just feels really good to have something in your own space that you've put the work into and made yourself. And I've always been a very hands-on type of person, so I always feel very fulfilled when I'm making things for myself. I think success to me is just being happy. I know it's kind of cheesy, but money is nice, and it is nice to have it. It can make you happy in a way, but at the end of the day, you just want to live the life that you want to live, and I don't want to spend it being anything but happy. I think when you take a step back and you slow down, your mind kind of opens up in a lot of different ways. For me, when I slow down and I don't have too much going on, my mind's just running with ideas, and that's when I make the most art. For a lot of people living a very busy lifestyle, when they find more time for themselves, they just want to relax, and maybe they don't do a whole lot with their little time that they get. But yeah, that's how I use up my slow time.
brown.
Kids young and they dumb.
No, is they young or they dumb?
Yeah.
Fuck, I forgot this.
But hey, mama have fun.
Wave. I got it.
Exactly.